Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that are pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start right here. 2nd Ezra 15 and woe is me. Yeah, woe to the world. 15 and 14. Okay, dealing with civil war and things of that nature. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. There's your war. What kind of war? You got nation against nation. You got kingdom against kingdom. You got race war. You got civil war. Okay? You got war of the worlds. All right? For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, now, does this only apply to Babylon the Great? No, meaning America. This is going on in Russia. Let's take a look at this. Where is it? Slovakia, not that. This. Got your boy Skeletor right here. Full spectrum survival 2 hours ago. Here it comes. Freedom fighter attack. Where? Civil war in Russia. It is coming here too. Yep. It's Edomites over in Russia, which can be seen as the Egyptians fighting against the Egyptians. Satan coming against Satan. How can his kingdom stand? Right? And furthermore, after we watch this, we're going to go into what a color revolution is and who's behind it. Okay? So let's watch this. Take it away, Skeletor.
Is there a civil war that's raging on inside of Russia right now? Anti-Putin Russian volunteer corps are vastly outnumbering Russian forces, according to some of the reports that we're seeing. Russia does not have control of certain cities, including cities on the inside of the Russian border. Russia is trying to, at this moment in time, bring in tanks and reinforcements. The monocrystal plant is burning in the Belgorod region. It's being reported that there are military tanks at the enterprise. Now the so-called Second Army will be left with no shells and no fuel. Monocrystal is one of the world's largest manufacturers of artificial gemstones and other things that are used in electronics and optoelectronic industries. Citizens say that they are attempting to flee a Russian uprising. They're saying that right now there is a civil war that is starting, and it's being propagated by the United States of America, Ukraine, and all of NATO.
Boom. There it is. He said it himself. Why? What? Here's a question. Why is there such thing as North Korea and South Korea? It's all Korea. Why is Korea fighting against each other? Right? Here's the answer. Because somebody went in and divided the country down the middle and gave this part of the country weapons to fight against their own people. All right? We'll listen to a little more of this and we'll get into a color revolution.
We're watching Telegram channels and other social media.
Let's watch that again. Listen to what he said real close. Who's funding this uprising in Russia? He's talking about a civil war in Russia, but then he goes on to tell you who's sending money or who's fomenting, if you will. All right? Who's funding it?
Attempting to flee a Russian uprising. They're saying that right now there is a civil war that is starting, and it's being propagated by the United States of America.
Huh? What's that? So when you go to South Korea, why is there a military base, right? Why is there a DMZ, a demilitarized zone, dividing North Korea from South Korea? And in the South, you got American soldiers helping the South Koreans, which are all Koreans, by the way. What the fuck is that? Okay, it's kind of similar to the Soviet Union, which at one time included Ukraine. Ukraine is part of the Soviet Union. And in Vladimir Putin's mind, the Ukraine is Russia. But somebody's over there giving them weapons to do what? It's the same thing. Now, to take it a step further, they're inside Russia giving people money and weapons to fight against the Russian government. That's what your civil war is.
Ukraine and all of NATO. We're watching Telegram channels and other social media outlets that are at this moment calling.
Slovakia. Okay, good enough. We don't have to watch. Go watch that on your own. Your boy Skeletor. Let's get into this because I want to keep this short. What is a color revolution? Or a coup? We're going to look up a coup. Color revolution. See, it ain't saying shit. Let's see. They're not saying shit here. Russia and the color revolution. Putin, no more color revolution. This is in 2022. Let's read this. Okay. What is this? VOA, Voice of America, probably. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin said Monday he will not allow governments allied with Moscow to be toppled in so-called color revolutions, a reference to the series of Soviet republics. What does that mean? That means you go give somebody in Russia who disagrees with the government, you give them arms and money to fight against their own government. That's what a color revolution is. We will not allow the boat to be rocked, Putin said. During an online meeting with leaders of Russian-led Collective Security Alliance, Putin blamed last week's violent unrest in Kazakhstan on destructive internal and external forces. Who could that be? The external forces are the U.S., the internal forces are disgruntled Russians that disagree with the government. He added, of course, we understand the events in Kazakhstan are not the first and far from the last attempt to interfere in the internal affairs of our states from the outside. That's what a color revolution is. Now, what is a coup? Okay. What is a coup d'etat? Right? Coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. A sudden, violent, and unlawful seizure of power from a government, a coup. A military coup d'etat brought down the government. So what you do, let's read it in Wikipedia here since they seem to want to suddenly share the truth. A coup d'etat, also known as a coup or an overthrow, is a seizure and removal of a government and its powers. Typically, it is an illegal seizure of power by who? Where are we at? An illegal seizure by a political faction, politician, rebel group, military, or dictator. Okay, now, who is funding this rebel group, military, or dictator? What's this guy's name down in, where was it? Was it Venezuela? Where was it? where they had two presidents at the same time, one backed by, slipping my mind right now. I'm going to try to keep this short. So, but here's what we see. Macron, it's not Macron, that's France. Let me see if I can find it. Puppet, president installed by U.S. in is it Venezuela? Let's see if we can find it real quick. Maduro, this is it right here. Okay, who does the U.S. reckon? Listen to this. This is absolutely diabolical. Who does the U.S. recognize as president of Venezuela? It's none of the U.S.'s business who the president of Venezuela is. During the 2019 Venezuelan presidential crisis, Nicolas Maduro announced that Venezuela was breaking ties with the United States following President Trump's announcement that the U.S. recognized Juan Guaido, the president of the National Assembly, as the interim president. Just that right there. Okay? What does this say? This says that at one day at a football game, right? Here it is. The government's go. Juan Guaido and a media team with cameras. Juan Guaido stands up and says, "I'm the president of Venezuela now," and then the United States fully backs him, and then they're instituting a coup d'état. They're taking down Nicolas Maduro, who is the legal Venezuelan president, and the United States gave this dude some money and some backing, right? To do what? To stand up and say that he's the president. Video. Let me see. So I'm going to say Juan Guaido stands up and announces himself. Juan Guaido, I don't even know how to spell this, so I'll try to grab it here. Copy. Paste. Oh, look at that. So long, can bear with me. Get my computer skills together here. Juan Guaido, right, announces two ends. He's the president. At the football game. This sounds stupid. It sounds stupid, but it's true. Now, let me see. Venezuela national soccer coach. No, that's not it. Venezuela's Juan Guaido declares himself acting president. Let's look at this real quick. What is declared? Okay, let's see. It wasn't this. This isn't where it happened. And listen to the language. It says, President Nicolas Maduro addressing supporters from the balcony of Miraflores, the presidential palace, said that Guaido and his supporters were attempting a coup and has called on the military to maintain order and discipline. This is how, now, I have decided to break diplomatic and political ties with the imperialist government of the United States. Why? Because they're trying to install Guaido. This is how the United States gets down. So what are they over here doing in Russia? Let's see. What is going on in Russia right now? All right. That would be like uh, Russia coming over here and funding, right? Uh, Trump funding the MAGA to take down the guy and install Trump right now during the 4-year presidency of Joe Biden. What would that cause? That it's the equivalent of that. Where are we? Here's what I want to look for. Slovakia, bear with me. You see what's going on here? Videos. Where is it where he stands up? Is this it? After declaring his Venezuela, Juan Guaido declares himself interim president. Let's see if we can find it. This isn't. Is this the video? They're at the soccer game, right? This is funny as hell. I want to see this on. Let's see if we can find it. Is this even a video? Doesn't look like it. Why did they show that? They're hiding this. Let me see it. Let me look for it. That's the Guardian. I want. This is the they're not showing it to me, but this is the incident right here. I remember seeing this. All right. Why is this under video and they're not showing it? Yeah, they got me controlled over here. All right, anyway. So here they are, right? And in the middle of this, Guaido stands up. Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido has won significant international support after declaring himself. How do you do that? Interim president in dramatic escalation of efforts to force out Nicolas Maduro. Anyway, yeah, they're not going to show. Let me see. Where was I? I was here. Slovakia. Bear with me. See if I can do this one more time. Copy. Oh, we'll go here. Wait, yeah, I'm going to go here. Paste. Slovakia. Come on. Paste. Come on, play it.
Juro
Okay, this is probably not the soccer game incident. Let's see.
asumir formalmente las competencias del Ejecutivo Nacional como el presidente encargado.
Okay, this isn't it either, but there is an incident where that actually happened, so I'm unable to find it. And I'm kind of just, doing this through the spirit, so I could have prepared, went and looked for it, but it is a thing and it did happen. But anyway, this is what a coup is. And if you have, right, backing, what does it take? It takes force. It takes a guerrilla squad. It takes money. It's like this guy, uh, uh, who's the guy that funded BLM? George Soros. All right, George Soros is behind color revolutions. Let's look at that. What they do is they get these billionaires. Let's see. Billionaire George Soros puts big money into local races. What is this? George Soros. Ukraine faces Russia and old Ukraine. What is this guy doing? This billionaire, right? It takes money, right? Like Adolf Schicklgruber, if you know who he is, right? During World War II, the Nazi. We'll just say that. Schicklgruber, the Nazi, right? Who gave him money? Where did the money come from for that regime? Well, guess what? You got to look into the Bush family, Averell Harriman. Okay? The color revolutions, the rare end after the end of an era in post-Soviet states. What is going on? Okay? Soros on Russia, China, and the fight of our lives. That's a year ago. So it takes money and weapons to go in and destabilize a country and overthrow their government. That's what. Where'd he go? Did I navigate away from? I did, didn't I? Where's Skeletor? Okay, I navigated away from Skeletor, so forget what his name is. Let's go here, Salakia. Bear with me. Where's Skelly? This is what he's talking about. Skeletor is talking about, what is this? Freedom fighter attack. Who set up the let an uprising happen? He's going to let rebel factions rise up in Russia and not put them down. Somebody's behind that. Okay? What is this guy talking about?
To take up arms against the government. Inside of Russia, we see citizens saying that they are trying to flee. They're trying to get out of the area, evacuate them, but some of them are being shot on sight. Now, if they run at night,
that's what Vlad is doing. Some of them are being shot on sight. Oh, you gonna rebel? You gonna uprise? You gonna start a little revolution? You're gonna die. Okay. They don't play over in Russia.
Try to get out of an area that is being contested. They say they are in the middle of two different crosshairs, either the Russian army, who is attempting to retain control or even seize back control of the area, will shoot them just for being a shadow in the night, or the so-called Free Russian Liberation Army will be working to take them out. It's definitely something that we need to keep an eye on, because Russia is going to kind of strike back at America, and you can expect to see this sort of unrest pop up within the country.
Let's stop it right there, okay? So Russia knows what's going on, all right? As you can see from the previous years, they're like, no color revolution here 4 years ago. They understand what is going on. So let's get a couple of precepts and we'll go ahead. Let's get they covet fields. Who's doing this? This is Babylon the Great doing this. Okay. Start at 1. Micah. Let's just. But sorrow awaits, thinking up evil plans. This is the whore that sitteth upon many waters, known as Babylon the Great, also known as the United Snakes of America. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out. What? Carry what out? Your evil plan. Simply because you have the power to do so. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, right now they want Russia, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his prosperity, stealing his family's inheritance. Okay? Let's get Isaiah 19. Now, this is referring to, and Skeletor also said, what did he say? He said, civil war in Russia, it is coming here too. What does he mean by here? He means the United Snakes of America. It's coming here. This applies to both, applies everywhere, wherever Edomites are fighting one another against each other. Isaiah 19:2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, the Russians against the Russians, the Americans. Okay? Really, this goes into, I will set the Russians against the Ukrainians. They're the same people. And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and one against his neighbor, Russia against the Ukraine, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. We're watching that take place right now. Okay? How shall his kingdom stand? Who? Satan. Luke 11:8. If Satan also be divided against himself, North Korea and South Korea, how shall his kingdom stand? Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub. Okay, so we're watching this thing go down. You can go back and watch the rest of this. But here's what it means. Here's what's going on. Somebody with money is destabilizing the country from within, paying the rebels to perform and to pull off a coup d'etat, right? Right now, Vladimir Putin is the target, right? All right, so I mean, I know I went too long. I was trying to keep it short. Anyway, with that, we hope that the elect were edified and we learned something. With that, you brothers and few sisters, shalom.